According to the United Nations, plastic kills an estimated 1 million marine birds and 100,000 marine animals each year. Plastic has had a devastating effect to the environment. Now, two local entrepreneurs have come up with a more environmentally friendly way of packaging through their zero-plastic sugarcane bottles, which decompose entirely. Nicholas De Beer and Kyle Crease manufacture the continent's first biodegradable and compostable products made 100% from plants with zero plastic and no additives. The plant bottles function like normal plastic bottles, but without the harmful fossil fuels. They now join us, Nicholas joins me now to tell us more about their new product. Nick, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Simpiwe, thank you very much for having me on your show.
Now, the bottles that you manufacture are 100% biodegradable. Take us through what they are made of and why you decided on embarking on creating them.
Certainly. So I've got one of the bottles here with me. This is made entirely from sugarcane. So what we mean by that is as follows. Sugarcane obviously has sugar in it. Sugarcane is harvested and the sugar is extracted from the sugarcane. This is fermented into lactide, and then it's polymerized into a polymer which we can use then for processing and manufacturing bottles, as well as caps and Simpiwe. This is the first biodegradable and compostable cap actually in the world, which we're very proud to have produced right here in South Africa.
Wow. And how are these bottles different from the ordinary plastic, and how are they a better option for the environment?
So normal plastic has its source in oil. You know, it's a fossil fuel-based product. PET, for example, comes from petroleum. This is made from sugarcane, which means that it's a bio-based feedstock that we're using. And then, of course, plastic cannot biodegrade. You know, they say that typically you give it about 450 years for all types of plastic to break down or decompose. When we've sent this for industrial composting, we've seen as little as 25 to 30 days, the entire bottle and cap disappearing without any traces.
And what's the lifespan of these bottles before they biodegrade?
The shelf life's really good. So we had another option of using a polymer called polyhydroxyalkanate. That does biodegrade everywhere very rapidly. The advantage, though, with the sugarcane polymer is it gives you the shelf life that you would normally need, say from a plastic or glass bottle, and the moment it's put into compost, then the decomposition begins. So really offering you the best of both worlds.
And I understand that the normal plastic bottles that we use on a daily basis, the chemicals that are used to manufacture the plastic, if, for instance, it is exposed to the sunlight, and then there is a chemical reaction between the water and the chemical elements that have been made in creating the plastic, thus emitting the harmful elements onto the water and thus endangering our lives. So is this the case with this particular product that you've created?
Yeah, so what you're referring to there is known as plastic leaching. These bottles were sent to Intertech laboratories in Germany to confirm that there's no leaching of anything from the material of the bottle into water, juice, dairy, whatever it is you have.
Yeah.
So those tests were passed successfully, and we're very happy to be offering South Africa a safe product and a solution for the plastic pandemic, or the pollution pandemic, should we rather say.
Geez, man, that is so refreshing. It's actually so good to know. And do you think that South Africans will embrace this new way of packaging as opposed to the usual plastic or can packaging?
Yes, we've certainly seen a really fantastic response from South Africa as a whole. You know, Simpiwe, that's really how we got into this. Our company was manufacturing a lot of plastic-based products. And the general public said to us, you know, the plastic is a scourge on the earth. Rather, again, the pollution of plastic is a scourge on the earth. And can we not do something about this? And that is what led us to finding these plant-based alternatives and solutions for our country.
I mean, what really makes the Fortis X plant-based bottles cutting-edge technology, and how can people get hold of them?
So really, it's the beginning and the end, you know, being a plant-based feedstock that we're using. And then after usage, being able to biodegrade really makes it a first for the African continent. Certainly, we can be contacted through our website, which is fortisx.com, or by telephone, which is 021 911 085.
Are you also looking into expanding your horizons in terms of adding more products, adding more biodegradable products into your stable?
Yes, certainly. We've been asked to do quite a few containers and jars and various other rigid packaging, such as punnets, to begin with. And certainly the requests don't stop coming for flexible packaging as well, which in time I'm sure we will get there.
And the plastic, the plastic packaging that we get from supermarkets still remains a problem, despite calls for doing away entirely with plastic. But we're still using them on a daily basis, and despite the harm that we cause on the environment. Any other option that perhaps you may have?
We are working on that. So we do have our partners which are looking into the flexible packaging. Those solutions are certainly on the horizon. We've seen companies like Bonnie Bio, for example, which have started to introduce the flexible packaging as a compostable option. But for local manufacturing, that is on the very, very close horizon, yes.
So are you getting in touch with the retail? Like, are you working with the retail insofar as getting them to adapt to this new way of packaging?
Yes, certainly, Simpiwe. So, with this really launching at the beginning of this year, and then with us being faced with the lockdown, the bottle certainly took flight, especially in the sanitizer area. But now that things are beginning to open up again, we are looking very strongly at the mineral water, juice and dairy markets with the retailers as well.
So in terms of strength, and just how light is it?
We have found that it's superior to plastic in its strength. Certainly there's been no performance issues. We've been quite happy with that. As you mentioned earlier, what is the shelf life of the product? We have exactly the same strength as plastic, but obviously with the environmental advantages. And then just to clear something up, Simpiwe, plastic is not really the problem here. It's the pollution and the management of plastic, which is the concern. Often we tend to paint plastic in this dim light, which we should not be doing. But when we look at the waste management and the recycling of both plastic and glass, certainly that can be a challenge. We know Stats SA said, for example, only 10% of South African households actually do recycle. And that does create the challenges for us with our packaging.
Okay, so you've got no problems at all with the plastic?
Plastic's a very useful product. It's very strong. It's a very cost-effective product. But because we are not able to manage the waste streams very well, we do need something that can biodegrade or can be used in compost streams. And certainly that's what's given rise to these products.
All right, Nicholas, great chatting to you, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Simpiwe, thank you for having me on your show.
It's an absolute pleasure. That was Nicholas de Beer talking to us about environmentally friendly ways of packaging through their zero plastic sugarcane bottles, which decompose entirely. It is 8 minutes to